Bang! What is up, folks? Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Friday, October 29th, and we've had a pretty crazy 24 hours here on the back of that Facebook metaverse news. We got the NFTs ripping, Engine, Mana, Axie Infinity, a whole lot more. We've seen this in the past. We've seen what that's meant for the market, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what it's historically meant, what it could mean coming into the weekend here. But nonetheless, nothing like some exciting price action to start the weekend. But before we dive into things, Doc, Sheba, CJ, how you gentlemen doing this morning?
Doing pretty well, Monty. How are you doing, CJ?
Doing good. Just wanted to add to that list of NFT plays. Monty was Cube. Another interesting project, only about $110 million market cap, but that one's mainly trading on Gemini. I know one of our members had posted that earlier, but also another interesting NFT play that is up around 30% today as a result of that Facebook or metaverse news, I should say.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and there was a lot of speculation yesterday in our community whether or not that news from Facebook about the transition to Meta would have any effect on crypto, because Facebook does tend to keep it in-house when it comes to this sort of thing, or at least they've attempted to with Libra in the past making their own crypto. I think what's different now is we already have some cryptos whose model is kind of aligned with what we're seeing with Meta. Talk about Decentraland, Mana. This is a virtual world with Mana being the underlying currency where you can buy land, you can buy in-game items, that sort of thing. I think what Meta did yesterday was kind of validate that model, show that it does have a place in the future, that these cryptocurrencies can serve as sort of an underlying asset for these virtual universes. And as a result, we saw some tremendous speculation today in Mana, Engine, and a couple others like CJ just mentioned. So very exciting stuff. Very interesting to see how that's affected the market. But it's going to be interesting to see, guys, how that affects ETH as well. ETH has historically been kind of crippled by high congestion and gas fees when we get this sort of NFT speculation. But this time it's from a different angle. So we'll discuss that and a lot more. But anything you want to start off with here, CJ, in terms of some technicals?
Absolutely. I'd love to do a nice recap of last night's price action because it was quite interesting. Not just last night, but yesterday specifically, because we were all, minding our business, watching the charts and the chat as we usually do. And then within the span of like 5 minutes, I'm looking at my monitor. I see Bitcoin, healthy consolidation above 61K. Then the next thing I know, I look back at the screen and everybody's like, whoa, we just fell to 56K in like one single order. And there was quite a few individuals liquidated in that short period of time. But, what I think is very interesting about this and what we can take from it is that we actually saw, despite the liquidations that we got yesterday, we actually saw some really nice supply absorption and a lot of buyers willing to come in off of that 56K fib level, as well in confluence with, that 20 smooth moving average. So due to the fact that we're actually seeing, a turn up in the oscillators as well, right? We talked about how they were finding support at that zero line and really bouncing off some of these strong levels. When we go back, historically too, You can just see how many times this level has really been tested. And I'll just go highlight a couple of them here. I mean, it's one of our first tests, back tests to new support, and then finally putting in as the lower high. And all of those, prior tests of resistance have now flipped to support, which I think is really healthy overall for the macro trend. So still bullish, still looking for potential continuation of new all-time highs in Bitcoin here. But I mean, I think the real money that's being made right now is in the altcoin space. And I don't know if you have anything to share about Bitcoin dominance today, Monty, but that's certainly been in an interesting territory as well. And where we are in this particular altcoin season.
Yeah, absolutely, CJ. I think, you're spot on there. Bitcoin is looking bullish, very encouraged by that bounce from the moving average. But when we look at Bitcoin dominance, I think we're seeing that, I've been kind of emphasizing the point that we're at a bit of a tipping point here. And I think today that's becoming, very clear. This level right here of this 20 period smooth moving average at about 44% is a highly critical level for Bitcoin dominance. And a break below this level is what I have marked as an indication of the beginning of what we refer to as altcoin season. And we're already beginning to see some tremendous speculation in the alts. We've seen Doge pump, we've seen Sheeb pump. Typically, those are precursors to that altcoin mania. And now that we're having Bitcoin dominance retrace to this highly critical level of about 44%, where it's finding a bit of support here. But I think that now that we're seeing these NFTs really start to take off, we're seeing Bitcoin, although it is seeing some positive price action, it's looking like it is kind of poised to perhaps consolidate in this range between 56K where it bounced from that critical level and perhaps 65K where it kind of made its previous all-time high. So I think if it can consolidate in this range for the next couple of weeks, that would be tremendously positive news for the altcoins, because I think a break below this level would be very good. That'd be that, risk on mentality that we talk about as being so conducive to positive altcoin price action. And yeah, we're right at this critical point. So I think that, right now, I've been kind of talking about this for the last couple of days here, but now's the time I want to be looking to increase my allocation into the various altcoins. So whenever we talk about these doges of the day, some of them I already hold, some I don't. But now I think is a pretty good time to be looking to increase your allocations on various signs of strength, breaking, whether it's breaking critical levels, bullish engulfing candles, whatever the case may be. I think now is a good time to be increasing your allocation into the alts. And that's based on what we're seeing here with Bitcoin dominance. So yeah, that's what I got for Bitcoin dominance, and I'll pass it back to you, gentlemen.
I want to bring up this topic, and I want to ask it to you guys both. Has the Sheeb been kennelled? Is this the interim top here? How are you guys playing this?
That's a good question, CJ. I do think this is the interim top for Sheeb, and I think that right now is an okay time to be taking money off the table. I think that whenever you have a move like that, the disciplined thing to do would be to be kind of taking profit all throughout. But what we see historically is when we have a move like that, in an asset like Sheeb, there's not a specific price point that actually acts as the ceiling for the price action. Rather, it's the market cap itself, and we saw Sheeb climb tremendously in terms of market cap. We talked about yesterday how it surpassed major financial institutions like Deutsche Bank in terms of market cap. Now, from a fundamental analysis perspective, that doesn't necessarily seem right. And also, you have the fact that Sheeb basically caught up to Doge in terms of market cap as well. This to me is another indication that it is reaching perhaps an interim top, and perhaps you should be looking to take those profits on what has been a real rocket ship of a ride, and perhaps look to spread those out into some more alts with some more legitimate utility, whether it be in DeFi or NFTs. I think that's the way to play it. So yeah, CJ, I do think in the interim we have seen a top in Sheeb.
I agree with you, and I do want to just break down some of those statistics. Or if Doc Sheba wants to go first.
Well, I just wanted to throw in, guys, about this Squid game, because that Squid Coin, which is a play to win coin, it's a game based on that Squid Games. It is up 35,000% uh, just because of Squid Games. And I know you guys talked about this one, about that wallet that had 8,000 Shiba coins in it, and they continue to add, and now it's worth over $5.5 billion. One wallet with an $8,000 investment in Shiba coin, but obviously some people are also getting rich in these uh, Squid coins right now. Um, and to your point about gas fees and Ethereum, my God, I can't remember seeing gas fees as high as I'm seeing right now, guys, for, just moving Ethereum around. It's incredible. Um, I mean, Monty, when you look, have you ever seen higher gas fees than right now for Ethereum?
No, this is about as high as they get it. It is very reminiscent of what we saw at the beginning of or middle of August to beginning of September.
I mean, just through the roof. And I obviously that comes at a cost, uh, and it's one of the reasons that people would end up migrating away from Ethereum. As great as the protocol could be, if the gas fees remain that high for an extended period of time, people will not program on that network. They will not use that protocol because it's simply too expensive. It's too slow and too expensive, which should be to the benefit of all the competitors that are faster and far cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And to that point, that's exactly what we saw in the middle of August when crypto punks were seeing that massive amount of speculation when Visa bought crypto punks and everyone was trying to mint their own NFTs. We saw tremendous congestion in the Ethereum network. Gas fees skyrocketed. And like you said, people, not only, speculators, but also developers look to different chains. And some of the biggest benefactors, I'll just rattle off a few here, were HBAR, AVAX, Atom, DOT. Those are some of the big winners from that ETH congestion. And I expect those to be big winners this time around as well. So thanks for pointing out those gas fees, Doc. Definitely worth taking a look at here.
Yeah, because it will drive investment and speculation. And, because I think some of us are excited about some of these NFT projects, but they are not going to remain exciting if you've got a $400 gas fee attached to it.
We talked about, or Monty did a nice job mentioning the projects that could benefit from high gas fees on Ethereum, positive alternatives. But just looking at some of the assets here in the DeFi ecosystem that are primarily based on Ethereum, they have been pretty severe laggards in terms of price action and what we've experienced. Just to start off, Uniswap really hasn't done much to be able to reclaim that all-time high. Aave, we had that hack from Cream Finance and an unusual wick up the other day, but other than that, price action has been rather stagnant. Same in Sushi, same in KNC, same in Maker. All of these DeFi protocols that are specifically built on Ethereum, I think are suffering due to those high gas fees, and they lead individual speculators to other projects, to things like Phantom, or to things like Atom or AVAX, or Algo, or any of these layer ones that ultimately have high throughput. And so I think that's going to be a really interesting dynamic that changes going through next alt season. But it's just, I would rather be in those layer ones right now when compared to the DeFi on Ethereum assets. But let's get back to Sheep, because I wanted to say one thing more about Sheep, because I do agree with Monty in the sense that, in the short term, I just don't know where the capital is going to come from. I think Sheep did a really nice job in terms of like how much it pumped and how much it was able to pump. It reached a market cap of $51 billion at its high. Dogecoin, when it pumped, reached a market cap high of $88 billion. So considering Sheeb did not have Saturday Night Live, Elon, Gene Simmons, who else? Mark Cuban. It did not have that star power behind Sheeb in the same way that Doge did. So in the short term, I just think the trend has been hurt, and I think it's kind of dangerous to be jumping in at these particular levels. I would rather look for quality plays in the layer one category.
I agree. Well, I got to hop, guys, but I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, all of you. And I'd say listen to what CJ and Monty are saying about these alternatives to ETH. If you had to pick some names in there, pick a couple and then see where those are in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Doc. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, CJ, on that note, you mentioned Mark Cuban there briefly. How about VGX? I mean, I feel like we'd be remiss.
The Mavs game here. Let me bring up this shot. Everybody's seen this, but I mean, let's just show it again.
Yeah.
Bang. He gets an extra 100K for calling that bank. But man, what a shot. I think the Mavs, I don't remember if it was the Mavs, but they did, I think, $1 million shot. And they allowed this kid to have like an opportunity to practice with the team for like a week. And he's just draining threes all week. And when he gets up to finally take the shot, he airballs it. But,
brutal.
This is the first time I've ever seen a massive like money shot like that actually get drained and somebody, actually be able to cash out. So good for you, whoever that was.
And good for Voyager, man. They've, it's been a rough couple months, but this last week has been filled with some very positive press and some nice price action as well. So love to see it. But on that note, any doges of the day in particular that you're eyeing here as we head into the weekend, CJ? If you'd like me to start, I
would. I have a couple. I'd like to narrow them down and be a little bit more specific.
For sure.
But yeah.
So let's take a look. So, obviously we talked a lot about NFTs today, and Mana, Engine, some very positive price action, like you said, Cube as well. One that is seeing some positive price action, but not perhaps as much as the others. And I think that, definitely still fits the bill of potentially benefiting from this metaverse, news from Facebook, is Chiliz or CHZ. And we talked about in the past, this is a fan token popular in Europe with its integration with various major soccer clubs. Basically, it gives fans voting rights in various things, whether it be what jerseys the team goes with for that season, even things like what players they sign. But it also gives you benefits like the ability to get season tickets, that sort of thing. Very interesting application of NFTs. Underneath Chiliz, there's underlyings for each of the individual tokens for each of the teams, like Barcelona, Manchester City, Bayern Munich. They all have their own tokens that fluctuate in price. And actually, interestingly enough, Messi, when he was signed by PSG from Barcelona, was actually paid in portion in PSG token, which is part of the Chiliz network. So very interesting coin here. And, beyond the fundamentals, what we're seeing in terms of the technicals, I think, is looking very promising as well. Very nice uptick in volume here. Like I said, the rest of the NFT space has been really running. And this level here at about 0.35, 0.36 here is a critical level for CHZ. We've come up and retested this level a few weeks ago, and once again, just a few days ago, and we're promptly rejected from this level. I think if we can get above this level, the next critical level isn't up until about 44 cents at our previous all-time high. So I really like what I'm seeing from Chiliz, not just in terms of, fundamentally and the speculation we've been seeing in the NFT space in general, but from a technical perspective as well. I think Chiliz is looking very strong right now. So for those reasons, I am picking it as my Doge of the day.
I'm going to go with another NFT pick as well. Just following up on Cube, because, maybe not hop in it today, but it's definitely something that I want to watch, or rather add to my watch list It's really only traded on Gemini and Uniswap. I have not found it on any other places yet. But it's very interesting just checking out what they've built, their partners and who they're integrated with. Some interesting backers as well. But overall, I just think it'd be an interesting project to explore after seeing the parabolic price action that we've witnessed in Axie Infinity. That was something that really took us by surprise and was a demonstration of how powerful the NFT marketplace can be in particular projects like this that involve a lot of community engagement. So I would definitely add this one to the watch list. It's one I'm going to be following, and I might try to play it or do something along that side. But in terms of things that I've bought recently, yesterday I did buy some Atom. I do like Atom. I think we're coming very close to creating new all-time highs on the backs of this breakout cup and handle pattern. It's also under the category of those L1s geared towards high throughput that could benefit if Ethereum gas fees continue to deter users from the Ethereum DeFi marketplace. I also bought DOT, namely because I do like the formation, but also because the interest on Voyager, 12%. So I just wanted to add to that stack potential to compound earnings within a bull market if prices to continue increasing. So yeah, those are the assets that I have been looking at and buying in the short term.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. And as always, go ahead.
We should talk about ADA because it's such a popular retail asset. Just before we get off here, I don't know if I would jump in ADA yet, but it seems to be getting a little bit of supply absorption after it was bought up after kind of yesterday's crash, or mini liquidation, I guess I would say. I haven't bought any ADA in a very long time. I'd probably wait till it gets back above its 20 smooth moving average. But here, I'll just jump into the chart real quick.
Yeah, because it consolidated around, that smooth moving average for quite a while. And then when we got that liquidation event just last week with Bitcoin, it really kind of broke down here. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just hasn't been able to regain that momentum. And the battle between Solana and ADA is being won by Solana and FTX, for the moment at least. But you can see, we are turning a little bit up from those oversold levels with the oscillators. But for me, it's just not quite enough yet. Nonetheless.
I mean, as you can, taking a look at just what, we've seen historically, I think a very conservative and I think potentially profitable way to play this would just be, like you said, CJ, to wait for a break above that 20-period smooth moving average. I mean, if you look back at what that meant in August, that was basically confirmation that we were breaking out. I think it could be a very similar thing at this point in time. So, yeah, I'm approaching this with caution, especially considering, the sort of fragility we've seen over the last couple months here with ADA. But I think that, potentially waiting for that confirmation of strength with the sign of a breakout above these critical levels could, be a very profitable way to play this. So I'll be watching for that.
Another moving average strategy I like, aside from just waiting for the 20 smooth moving average, is to wait for, an intersection in terms of like the bullish trend in the Williams alligator. Once you see those start to really cross over one another and start to become somewhat parallel, that means that we are trending. Right now, ever since the top, we have had a somewhat of a weak downtrend. But if that is to change, and if this green, line is to create another bullish crossover, I would look for a continuation and potentially a new trend in ADA. But we just haven't seen the strength yet. And until we do, I want to keep my capital in things that are strong, like Luna, Solana, Atom. There's a lot of different options right now, but just want to be patient with ADA.
Yep, lots of different options right now. And as always, we'll be hanging out in the crypto room, exploring those options. Thank you very much, Bob.
Happy birthday, Monty.
Thank you. Yes, 26 years old, very exciting. Feel pretty much the exact same, but looking forward to, hanging out this weekend, going to the Bulls game on Saturday, tomorrow with my brother. So very excited about that. But when I'm not, out celebrating my birthday, I will be hanging out in the crypto room. I think this weekend's going to be potentially pretty exciting weekend, when you consider all the things we talked about today. So if you guys would like to hang out with CJ and I, we'll be in the crypto room, as well as, all of our loyal members that share their great insights every day. And you can try the first week for just $7 at markrebellion.com/try crypto. We got a pro charting service, 24/7 chat, extensive education curriculum, cutting edge sentiment data, and a whole lot more. So definitely head over there and check it out. We would love to have you guys. And if you're looking for a place to trade your crypto, head over to investvoyager.com, where you can trade 60 plus assets commission free. And if you do, use code REBEL25 for $25 free in crypto when you sign up. But that's all I got. Any parting words for our audience as we enter the weekend here, CJ?
Nah, just seeing a lot of love for you, my friend. A lot of birthday shout outs. So enjoy yourself, and thank you for watching, everyone, today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend wherever you are in the world. But take care.
Bye-bye.